Now, I've been telling you about these warring factions of power. We had Oviedo and now we're in Siena. We're going to now turn our attention up north to Florence. And Florence and Siena, oh, they're just in this bitter feud this entire time. They're just fighting for control over the territory in the middle of Italy and therefore access to the wealthy cities in the north and access to the trade in the Mediterranean. Let's look at Florence. Now, Florence, similar to Siena, has a major export of luxury items and goods. Both Florence and Siena are also known for their production or creation of fine fabrics, very detailed, complicated, intricate designs of textiles. Florence is also known for its international trade or international banking, so banking inside of the Italian peninsula and outside into Northern Europe. And Florence is known for its high quality armor, so swords, shields, weapons of that, anything of that kind. A really good source of production is in Florence. We are going to be looking at Florence and looking at several buildings. Well, I guess we're not going to be looking at several buildings because they're still under construction. Here, this is the major cathedral, the major church in Florence. It's Florence Cathedral, or you might hear it referred to as Il Duomo. Duomo is Italian for cathedral. And I'm showing you this because I want you to keep it in the back of your mind, because at this time, in the Gothic period, it's a massive construction site. Yeah. So it had been under construction for 200 years already. And the only part that had been completed was this smaller building here. This is a baptistry. I'm going to be giving you these words later in another artwork, but I just want to give you a frame of reference or context. So this baptistry was already done. During the Gothic period, they start construction on the main church itself. It's this massive space, and there's this bell tower that comes up the side of the church. Now, it's beautiful. We're going to look at it later, but for now, ignore it. It is just a bunch of piles of dirt and bricks and ropes and pulleys and donkeys and construction workers yelling at each other. So that's happening. Instead, we're going to turn our attention to the City Hall of Florence, or more specifically, it's called the Palazzo della Signora, and it's also referred to as the Palazzo Vecchio. Palazzo della Signora means the Palace of Elders, because as a republic, a representative body, they would meet here in this palazzo. The later term, the Palazzo Vecchio, means the old palace. And it's just a kind of a more common term used for this space. But at the time, it was called the Palazzo della Signora, the Palazzo of Elders. Now, doesn't it look similar to what we saw in Siena? We have a large bell tower which sounds the alarm, and we have the crenellation. It also has a very heavily fortified ground level, and that is to, protect it from an onslaught or an attack in the city, and to bash them with stones or shoot them with arrows from behind this crenellation. Here, just to give you a sense of comparison. So we see two cities in constant fight for territory and control and power, and their buildings of government are remarkably similar.